going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Nerdy Movie Night. Now guys, before we go any further, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell so you get all the notifications for all the videos we put out from the entire team. Today we are going to be doing a review for X-Men First Class. Now after X-Men Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the X-Men franchise was kind of in a slump, so this was a way to revamp it. Although, if you guys didn't know, this movie was originally set to be the X-Men Origins Magneto movie, but because of the largely horrible film of X-Men Origins Wolverine, they decided to distance themselves from that movie and get that completely out of the fans' minds and do X-Men First Class, which is essentially still Magneto's origin movie. So this film largely focuses on Erik Lehnsherr and Charles Xavier, Magneto and Professor X, and their journey to form a team of young mutants to work with the American government to stop Sebastian Shaw. Now this film does a great job at balancing all of the characters, still giving us the nook and crannies that we need to fill in the amazing stories of some of these great characters. This is also the first film where we get to see James McAvoy as Professor X and Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Now I gotta say, both of these actors destroyed it. They killed it. They did such an amazing job in these two roles. These characters are not simple characters to portray. These are very complex characters. Magneto himself was in a Holocaust internment camp. I mean, you got to think, this is pretty fucked up. I mean, Magneto's been through the ringer. Fassbender completely brings that to the surface and shows us all the emotion that Magneto's probably going through. Now, the relationship that forms between Magneto and Professor Xavier is actually the basis of their entire character. Now, both of them have their own strengths and weaknesses without each other, but the two of them together change the dynamic of this film and really give you a deep look into the friendship that forms even though there's conflict around. This film actually shows us how the first team of X-Men were brought together by Charles and Erik and are given their code names and everything to become the first X-Men team. They do introduce some pretty complex characters, but two for me really stand above the rest. That's Hank McCoy and Alex Summers, so Havoc and Beast. Beast has a great relationship with Mystique and really tries to show her being a mutant's not a horrible thing. And then when his serum backfires and gives him solid fur, turns him into the Beast, she tells him to be mutant and proud. So the character development between Hank McCoy and Alex, they're both done so amazing. You really have a nice balance to the character, and you really get to see these two characters grow from sheltered to completely out there and just ready to do what they gotta do. Now, Kevin Bacon is an amazing villain, and when this movie was cast, I actually said I don't know if Kevin Bacon's going to do a good job as a great villain. He has done some really great things, and he has been a villain in the past in other movies, but Sebastian Shaw is a pretty unique character, so when I heard he was cast, I was skeptical. But after seeing this movie, Sebastian Shaw came to life through Kevin Bacon. This character was perfect for him. He did such a good job. Really got to show us the deep, dark intentions that Sebastian Shaw really has, but sugarcoating it so it looks like he's doing everything for everyone else, and he wants the mutants to stand tall over everyone else. And that's the great thing. Now, the scene that really moves you and is probably my favorite scene in this entire movie is after they land on the beach in Cuba, and Erik goes in there inside the submarine and is tearing it apart trying to find Sebastian Shaw. He finally finds him, and they're having their one-on-one battle. And Erik is able to get the helmet off of Sebastian Shaw, which Erik will eventually take and become Magneto, and that's his Magneto helmet. But that's besides the point. Takes the helmet off Sebastian Shaw, and Charles is able to hold him, freeze him in place. And Charles is seeing everything out of Sebastian Shaw's eyes and just watching this, because Erik puts a helmet on so he can't read his mind anymore. So he holds Sebastian Shaw. If he lets go of Shaw, Shaw is going to kill Erik. Erik's determined to get revenge. Shaw killed his mother at the beginning of the film, and you don't do that. You don't fuck with somebody's mama. So Shaw is getting what he deserves. This was such a great scene. Charles is holding him still, and Erik grabs the coin that he told him to move in the first part of the movies, and when he couldn't do it, he shot his mom. Well, Erik throws it up, and it just starts floating towards his face. Goes right through his forehead, and when you see how James McAvoy is portraying the pain that he is feeling from a coin moving through his skull, and because he's feeling everything that Shaw feels. He just has Shaw frozen, but he's experiencing everything through his eyes. So that coin is going right through Charles's head just the same, and it's just so cool how they line up the shots. It was just so amazing, and that was probably my favorite scene in this entire movie. Plus, you really get to see James McAvoy kick it up a notch and really show his acting chops by blowing that scene out of the water. It was awesome. In my opinion, guys, this is a great film, and it was the film that gave the X-Men the breath of fresh air, the breath of life that they needed to come back to mainstream media. Now, guys, I'm going to give this movie a solid A-. There was a ton of amazing things, but there was a couple things I would have changed here and there, but that's here nor there. It was a great movie, very well put together, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Every time you watch it, it's a roller coaster ride, and you just have a great time. So, guys, let me know what you guys think about X-Men First Class down in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? What would you grade it if you had to give it a grade? And if there's any other movies you'd like to see me do reviews for, put it down in the comments down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can, guys. But thank you very much for tuning in to Nerdsmerized, and I hope to see you guys next time for another episode of Nerdy Movie Night. All right, guys. Peace out.